Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cameron Sports Podcast. It's your host here, Cameron Lindsay, back for another episode. Today's episode, I'm going to be giving my takeaways from week 3 of the college football season from last week. I'm also be giving my top 4 Heisman favorites for this early on in the season. I came up with 4 players I thought are the leading candidates already for the Heisman Trophy, and also give my predictions for week 4. For this week, I'm gonna give my takeaways from NFL Week 2 last week and make my predictions for Week 3 this week. But yeah, let's get right into today's show, man. I'm excited. So for one of my first takeaways from Week 3 was backup quarterback Arch Manning stepped in for Quinn Ewers, who got hurt in a game against UTSA. Arch Manning ended up having a very great game. He went 9 for 12, 276 yards, 4 touchdown passes. 1 rushing, so he had 5 total touchdowns. Now, I know it was against UTSA, but like I said, he looked pretty impressive. I think it looks great. Texas has a bright future when Quinn Ewers goes pro next year. So that even though, like I said, that made me feel good about Archie Manning's future at Texas. Now, as far as people like Paul Farnbar, that's how you say his last name, right? I was watching First Take the other day saying Texas could win the national championship with Arch Manning quarterback. Oh, let's slow down. It was against UTSA. I want to see Arch Manning against SEC competition. If he would have did what Quinn Ewers did against Michigan last week on the road with 3+ touchdown passes, then maybe you could say that. But not against UTSA. You can say that Texas has potential to win a national championship and an SEC championship the following year with Arch Manning at quarterback. You could possibly say that then, but no. And plus, and then he said Arch Manning, there could be a quarterback controversy if Arch Manning continues to play like this, like he did against UTSA. To be honest, I don't think there is. I think when Quinn Ewers was healthy, he was clearly a Heisman Trophy candidate. Really probably the favorite. If he didn't get hurt, I would have him in my top 4 Heisman, but he's hurt now, so his momentum has gone down. But hey, he was playing a very, very great ball already within the first 2 weeks of the college football season. But Arch Manning looked very well. Now, it's reported that he will get the start against Louisiana Monroe. Like I said, I know that's Louisiana Monroe. That's not much better than UTSA. But I really want to see, like, can Arch Manning do it again? Like, how well can he play? Can he fix mistakes he made against UTSA? Will he be able to replicate what he did against UTSA and be even better? So that's what I want to say. I will say he surprised me with his speed. That 91-yard touchdown run he did. He's faster than I thought, way faster than Eli Manning, his uncle, and his other uncle, Peyton Manning, for sure. Faster than him also. But he looks promised. Arch Manning was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, 6'3", 220+ pounds. And I think he has a bright future at Texas next year when he takes over after Quinn Ewers leaves. My next note is from the Colorado State game with Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders. Both of them had a very good game in a 28-9 win on the road against Colorado State. Shedeur Sanders, he went 36-49, 310 yards, 4 touchdown passes. Travis Hunter balled out on offense and defense. He had 13 catches for 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Now, it's funny, like, when Colorado loses, I see people on Facebook talking trash, even some friends, which is fine. But it's like when they win, nobody got nothing to say. And I think, that's very, very unfair. Like, if you're going to talk when they lose, talk when they win. I know it was against Colorado State, but these 2 players are legit first-round talent. I don't care what you say. If you don't think Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter are first-round talent, you don't know football. Especially Travis Hunter, he for sure is going to be a top 10 pick. I think Shedeur should be arguably number 1 pick, also a top 10 pick as well. But the way it's look is probably going to be Carson Beck, especially with him being at Georgia. Even though I think Carson Beck probably most likely will be a first-round pick also. Maybe the number overall pick. If I was him, I would not want to go to Carolina if they do have a first-round pick this year because of that Bryce Young trade a couple years ago. But both of them look phenomenal against Colorado State. I don't expect Colorado to compete for the Big 12 championship. Now, I have expectations for them to go to a bowl game. I really want them to go to a bowl game because I want Deion to progress, and go from 4 wins last year, go to 6. That's an improvement because he took over a team that won 1 game. Y'all gotta understand that. I'll be talking trash about Colorado and Deion. He took over a team that only won 1 game, so that's very great progress last year. 4 wins. He even had them ranked for a couple weeks, for 2 weeks. Like, come on. So, but yeah, Shedeur and Travis both balled out. I was watching at the end of the game, the Colorado State quarterback tried to shake Shedeur's hand, and Shedeur said, keep that same energy. And he didn't shake his hand. And, I think that was very, very valuable to Shedeur. I don't blame him for doing that. Now, of course, it's good to show sportsmanship. But at the same time, if you're on social media and you talking about we're going to beat the brakes off of them, all they care about is clicks, and then you try to go shake his hand after the game after they blew you out, nah, it don't work like that. You got to keep that same energy. But yeah, both of Shedeur and Travis both balled out. They really had a good game, and we're going to see. Now, they play Baylor this week. We'll see what they do against Big 12 competition on the road. Like I said, I'm pulling for Colorado. Like I said, I expect Travis. If it's just their O-line has to hold up. That's the only thing I'm worried about is Colorado's offensive line. The defensive line also stopping the run. The defense has gotten a little bit better, but Shiloh Sanders is out due to injury. Still got Travis Hunter. So, that's the only thing I'm worried about. The trenches. That offensive line mainly. Can the offensive line keep Shedeur? They did a decent job in this game against Colorado State. They did a pretty good, decent job. You just got to keep playing better. You don't have to be elite. Even Joel Clack said it. You don't have to be elite. You just got to be better. That's it. You literally just have to be better. You got a superstar quarterback with a superstar and Travis Hunter who plays receiver and defensive back. You got another really good receiver in Jimmy Horn Jr. You got a lot of great talent of players. I forgot number 10's name. He balled out against Colorado State. So he had 2 touchdown catches from Shedeur. I just feel like they give Shedeur's time, Shedeur's gonna be able to deliver. That's it. I really think if Shedeur was at Georgia, I guarantee you they'll be talking about him like they do Carson Beck right now. That's for a fact. But that's my second takeaway from week 3, my third and last. And I said this in the last episode. Auburn needed to bench Peyton Thorne, and I at first I didn't think they was, but they did. They did it. I was shocked. I thought Hugh Freeze is not gonna do that, but they did, and they ended up starting Hank Brown, who's the backup quarterback. He was named the starter against New Mexico, and he had a pretty good game. Now it was against New Mexico, but he had a good game. He went 17-25, 235 yards, and 4 TD passes. Now, last year against the same team, Auburn lost, and guess who was the quarterback? Peyton Thorne. And the reason I say, I'm not a casual fan. I pay attention. If you watch my last episode, I said Peyton. Reason he needed to be benched because his stats last year, he threw for a little bit over 1,700 yards and only 16 touchdown passes and 10 interceptions. That's average. That's not gonna cut it. That's too many interceptions. His touchdown interception ratio is not good. And Auburn finally has a lot of talent at the receiver position, especially with Cam Coleman, 5-star receiver freshman, 4-star receiver Perry Thompson. They called them the Freeze Four. They got a couple other 4-star receivers. So you got a lot of talent. Even Nick Saban said this is the most talent receivers he didn't see in Auburn had in a long time. So you got to get them the ball. You can't be turning the ball over like he did against Cal. And like I said, I just don't think Peyton Thorne is that good. I really don't think so. Maybe at a FCS school or a Group of 5 team, he could be decent. But at Auburn, that's not going to cut it. At an SEC school, that's not going to cut it. I feel like Auburn has the talent. The recruiting classes they have for 2025, 2026 is loaded. The 2024 class is really good, led by 5-star receiver Cam Coleman out of here in Phoenix City, Alabama. I really believe in Cam Coleman. He's my favorite freshman to watch this season. I think he's gonna be special, but he can't throw himself the ball. He may be 6'3", 200 pounds, very fast, athletic, can go jump the ball, a good route runner, but he can't throw himself the ball if Payton Thorne is turning it over and being inconsistent at the quarterback position, because the quarterback position is the most important position on the football field, point blank. Why do you think you see people in the NFL getting paid $50 million a year? Dak Prescott just got paid $60 million by the Dallas Cowboys, because the quarterback position is the most important position on the field. But like I said, I think they made the right call. Payton Thorne getting benched. Now it's gonna be interesting to see them play. I think they got a bye week this week. Let me check real quick when Auburn plays Arkansas, because I think that is their next game, if I believe, and that will be against September. No, it's this week. They play Arkansas this week, and that's gonna be an interesting game. That's gonna let me really see how Auburn's going to be, how their stand is gonna be in the SEC. Because I could believe they could be a dark horse if the quarterback position doesn't turn the ball over. Now their defense, on the other hand, has to be better, because New Mexico was moving the ball a little bit on their defense. Cal did also. So, but yeah, like I said, I called it last week. Payton Thorne needed to be benched. Even my fellow, podcasters at College Cal, shout out to them, Jarvis and his cousin, said Payton Thorne needed to be benched, and I agree. He needed to be benched. And look what Hank Brown did. Again, all behold, it was against New Mexico. He still had a good game, 17-25, 235 yards, 4 touchdown passes. That's all I'm saying. But those are my 3 takeaways from last week. Archer Manning having a good game against UTSA. Travis Hunter Shedeur playing big in a big win against Colorado State. And Hank Brown being named the starter in favor of Payton Thorne being benched and also balling out against New Mexico. As far as my early Heisman favorites. Now, of course, it's a little bit hard. It's early on in the season. Only been 3 games. But my early, starting off in order, number 1 is Cam Ward, quarterback out of Miami, the transfer for Washington State. Cam Ward leads the nation in passing yards and touchdown passes with 1,035 passing yards, 11 touchdown passes, only 1 interception. Cam Ward has been phenomenal, like really phenomenal. Especially that game on the road at Florida, he balled out. And right now, I think it's clear cut that he's the favorite right now. With Quinn Ewers being hurt, I think Cam Ward, even with Ewers probably being healthy, Cam Ward probably will still be the favorite slightly, but it's clearly right now Cam Ward. It's his race to lose right now. Like I said, it's early in the season, and he made me a believer in Miami. Right now he has me, not saying that Miami's back, but he got me believing in them to win the ACC and potentially make the college football playoff, because I have Florida State. I ain't gonna lie, I take responsibility for being one of them people that believed in Florida State, because I thought DJ Uiagalelei was gonna help them. He balled out at Oregon State last year. He comes in now. Florida State, granted, they lost a lot of talent. Keon Coleman, Johnny Wilson, Jerry Verse, first round pick, Brandon Fisk. They lost a lot of key players, but I'm thinking Mike Novell, their head coach, he's a very good coach. Florida State has a pretty good recruiting class, a lot of good transfers. I'm thinking okay, they should at least go 10-2. Florida State, looking at their schedule, at least 10-2. Nope. Got upset at Georgia Tech. I'm like, okay, that's week 0. Their first game of the season. At neutral site game, it happens. Okay, cool. Maybe they'll bounce back against Boston College at home. Lost 0-2. I was like, after that, the season's over. And then they said, then it got even worse. Lost to Memphis at home too. Now Memphis, granted, is a really good Group of 5 team. I see probably in the foreseeable future them moving up to Power 5 eventually. So, but still, you got to win that game. But at this point, like I said with Payton Thorne, I think Florida State might have to consider benching DJ Uiagalelei. You might have to consider it, because you got to make some change. It just. But anyway, like I said, Cam Ward is my number 1 Heisman Trophy favorite right now. Again, he leads the nation in passing yards, 1,035 passing yards, on 11 touchdown passes, 1 interception. Like I said, his highlight game was on the road at Florida, balled out. He's number 1 right now. Number 2 be Travis Hunter, wide receiver / defensive back for Colorado. He has 30 catches for 342 yards, 5 touchdown catches, and 1 interception on defense. Like I said, now I know Colorado as a team, it's maybe not that good, but Travis has been balling. They're 2-1, so I give them a fair shot. Now, if they keep losing, he probably will drop down because the Heisman Trophy also got to base off of team record. But right now, I got Travis number 2. Number 3, got running back out of Boise State, Ashton Jeanty. He has 45 carries for 459 yards and 9 touchdowns. Ashton Jeanty has caught my eye from the get-go. Week 1 at Georgia Southern, he had over 300 yards and 6 touchdowns. Oregon, he had almost 200 yards rushing with multiple touchdowns. So I think, like I said, Boise State is a pretty good program. I think they got a legit shot to make the college football playoff as one of the highest-ranked non-Group of 5 teams. We'll see how the rest of their season goes. But right now, I got Ashton Jeanty 3rd. My fourth and last player, I got quarterback Jalen Milroe out of Alabama with 590 passing yards, 8 touchdown passes, and no interceptions. He's been playing pretty decently. And granted, Alabama played Western Kentucky and USF, but he looked good against Wisconsin. They who they play this? No, I don't think Alabama plays anybody this week. No, but they play Georgia next week. So, we're gonna see how they look against Georgia. But I got Jalen Milroe 4th. He's, like I say, he hasn't been turning the ball over, using his legs, looks pretty good. I give him a legit shot to win the Heisman Trophy. Like I said, I got Alabama making the college football playoff with 10 wins. I see them losing 2 games this season to Georgia and who else I picked? Missouri. But now let's get into Week 4. My Week 4 predictions. Starting off with Illinois, 3-0, taking on number 22 ranked Nebraska, who's also 3-0. Will be this Friday, September 20th at 8 o'clock. I'm going Nebraska. Like I said, I think Nebraska has been really looking pretty good, led by freshman 5-star sensation Dylan Raiola. He's been looking pretty good. He had a good game against Colorado. He had a really good game against UTEP. Like I said, I think Nebraska is already much better than they were last year. And they weren't that bad last year. Even though they did only win 5 games, most of them losses were like 1 possession. So I think they have a really good chance of being undefeated. Even Joel Klatt said it. A real good chance of being undefeated by the time they play Ohio State. But I'm going Nebraska on the road against Illinois. At home against Illinois, excuse me. Next game, we got NC State, 2-1, taking on number 21 ranked Clemson, who's 1-1. Saturday, 12 o'clock, September 21st. This game, I was going back and forth. NC State is a pretty decent team. I gotta give them credit. Clemson has not really been that good the past few years. I just don't believe that much in Cade Klubnik. Their offense is kind of average. Their defense has a lot of talent on it. Peter Woods, Tamarian Parker. They got a lot of talent. They got, Bryant Wesco. They got some talent receivers, just the quarterback position and the offense as a whole I don't really believe in. I believe in Dabo, so that's the reason I'm going Clemson, because I believe in Dabo. I think he's a better coach, but it would not surprise me if NC State pulls off the upset on the road. Now, if it was at NC State, I would go NC State, but it's at Clemson, and it's hard to win in Death Valley, so I'm going to Clemson Tigers in a close win over NC State. Next up, we got 11th ranked USC, who's 2-0, taking on 18th ranked Michigan, who's 2-1. So Saturday, September 21st, 3:30 p.m. Now, if you would have asked me, Cam, who you got between USC and Michigan Week 4? If you'd asked me this question during the offseason, I would clearly say Michigan. Like, there's no way. USC's defense is terrible. Lincoln Riley, he can't coach defense. He's an amazing offensive type of coach. Amazing quarterback whisperer. He develops quarterbacks at an elite level. Baker Mayfield, first overall pick, Heisman Trophy winner. Kyler Murray, Heisman Trophy winner, number overall pick. Jalen Hurts, Heisman Trophy runner-up, second round pick. Caleb Williams, first overall, Heisman Trophy winner. And now he has Miller Moss. And has him playing well. Miller Moss played phenomenal against LSU in Vegas Week 1. That shocked me. That was a huge win. I thought LSU was going to roll USC because I did not believe in Lincoln Riley's defense. Like I said, he can coach offense. I just thought playing an SEC team like LSU, they're not going to be able to keep up. But the defense looks a lot better than last year. Michigan, I called it. They should have benched that quarterback. And they did. Alex Orji has been named the starter. They benched old buddy, I forgot his name. Like I said, he didn't play, but the guy who was starting, he looked average against Fresno State, and he looked bad against Texas. I said it in my last episode. He needs to be benched. Alex Orji should have been named the starter from the get-go. But regardless, Michigan's offense, it's not going to look the same because you lost Blake Corum. You lost Jim Harbaugh. You lost your offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. So you lost a lot. So I do expect Michigan to be like at least at watching these first 3 weeks. I got Michigan 8-9 wins. That's still pretty good for a first-year coach in Jerome Moore, who's a first-time full-time head coach. But in this time, I'm going USC because I actually do believe in USC. I think they're better than we thought. I underestimated them. Like I said, if you would ask me this during the summer, I'm going Michigan easy. I'm like, there's no way Michigan's going to hang with USC is going to hang with Michigan on the road in the big house, playing that team the way USC plays defense. But nope, I think they win this game. It probably may be a close one, maybe, but I'm going USC. I think their defense is better than we think, and I trust Lincoln Riley and Miller Moss to come up the win at Michigan. Next up, we got UCLA 1-1 taking on 16th ranked LSU 2-1 Saturday, September 21st, 3:30. I'm going LSU. I think LSU has got a lot to prove. Their defense, I'm not gonna lie. I was texting my cousin, not my cousin, my uncle and watching the game after I got off work when they was playing South Carolina. LSU defense is bad. Even though they came up with the victory, their defense is bad. There's still no improvement from last year. Even if the offense ends up being good, their defense is terrible. But in this case, they are playing UCLA. I don't think UCLA is that physical. Like I said, they lost a lot. They lost their head coach Chip Kelly, who's now the offensive coordinator at Ohio State. So I'm going LSU in this game big. I think they bounce back in this game. The defense will look better, but I still think their defense as a whole is not that good. But in this case, going against UCLA, I think they're going to look pretty good. Next up, we got Georgia Tech 3-1 taking on 19th ranked Louisville, who's 2-0. This will also be Saturday at 3:30 p.m., September 21st. This one is kind of a hard one because Louisville has looked pretty decent. They're 2-0, ranked 19th, but Georgia Tech is better than I thought, beating Florida State. Even though they did lose to Syracuse, they beat Georgia State. So they look pretty decent. I'm gonna go Georgia Tech. I'm going to upset. I think Georgia Tech gets the upset slightly over Louisville. I'm not that confident in it because it's at Louisville, but I'm going Georgia Tech in the upset win over Louisville. Next up, we got 12th ranked Utah 3-0 taking on 14th ranked Oklahoma State, who's also 3-0. This game will be 4:00 p.m., also to September 21st. Now, this game, I don't know if it looks like Cam Rising is not going to be able to play because he got hurt in the last game. And the true freshman, younger brother to Zach Wilson, ended up taking over and will be the starter in this game. If Cam Rising was playing, I would go Utah, but I just don't trust a freshman quarterback going into that environment on the road at Oklahoma State. I'm going with Ollie Gordon and the Oklahoma State Cowboys to get the win at home. Like I said, Ollie Gordon, one of the best, arguably the best running back in the nation. I'm going Oklahoma State. I just don't trust Utah's young quarterback without Cam Rising. It sucks that he got hurt again. I hope he does come back because that really does suck if he can't. And lastly, we got number 6 Tennessee 3-0 taking on 15th ranked Oklahoma, who's also 3-0. This will be 7:30 p.m. game. College game day will be at this game. Now I had to think about this for a little bit. Oklahoma has looked pretty decent. Their defense is pretty straight. Jackson Arnold playing decent football, but Tennessee has looked really, really good. Nico, I can't say his last name. The redshirt freshman Nico, 6'6", big quarterback. He has looked really, really good. Tennessee is looking good already. So I'm going Tennessee because I just trust Nico. I think he's the better quarterback. I think Tennessee is a little bit more physical. Now, it won't be an easy game because it's at Oklahoma. Oklahoma does have talent, so don't take Brent Venables in that defense lightly. Don't take Jackson Arnold lightly. He is a former 5-star or 4-star quarterback, but I'm going Tennessee slightly because I think Tennessee has slightly more talent than Oklahoma, but it would not surprise me if Oklahoma does win this game. But I'm going Tennessee to get this win. But now let's move on to some NFL talk real quick, y'all. I got a couple of takeaways from week 2. Starting with rookie wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr., he had a breakout game against the Rams. He had 4 catches, 131 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the first half against the Rams. Now, if you was watching my episode last week, I predicted that the Cardinals would get the upset at home against the Rams. And I was right. Now, I didn't predict a blowout from what I remember. I don't. But I predicted a win because the Rams had some injuries where the offensive lineman may or may not play. And I'm like, even if they do play, they're not going to be 100%. Puka Nacua is not going to be playing. And Cooper Kupp ended up getting hurt in that game too. So I just had a feeling that the Cardinals were going to win that game, especially after playing a close one against Buffalo on the road. The Cardinals may be just a little bit better than we thought. Now, I'm not saying the Cardinals are going to make it to the playoffs or win the division. They might be a little bit better than we thought. Just a bit. And Marvin Harrison Jr. had a breakout game. In the first half, 4 catches, 131 yards, 2 touchdown catches. He had a breakout game. And I'm very happy for him because I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be special. Next up, quarterback Sam Darnold had another great game, this time against the 49ers. Not against the New York Giants, against the San Francisco 49ers, the defending NFC champions. He went in a 23-17 win. He had 268 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, I picked the 49ers to win this game, but because I'm like, okay, I don't expect Sam Darnold to have another great game like he did against the Giants, because that's the Giants. The 49ers, you got Nick Bosa. You got that, Fred Warner. But nope, he played very, very well. Now, maybe it has something to do with Chris McCaffrey not playing because he's hurt. But, it was still a close game, but I'm very shocked that Sam Darnold played well. And the Vikings may be better than we thought because I thought, they may struggle. Their defense is not that good, but they're playing well. They're 2-0 for a reason, so they're looking pretty good. Might have to watch out for the Vikings this season. Next up, another rookie receiver, Malik Neighbors. He had 127 receiving yards and a touchdown catch against the Commanders. Like I said, he had a good game. He better, if you may ask the Giants to unretire the number 1 from a legend in their organization, you got to ball out. But I think Malik Neighbors is going to be special also. Him and Marvin Harrison Jr. are both special. But if I had to pick one, I'm going Marvin Harrison Jr. I just feel like he is a true technician at the receiver. He's a very good route runner. He has size. He may not be the fastest, but is a very good route runner. And he's a rookie. I know he had 0 catches week 1. That's week 1. He's a rookie. He ended up bouncing back week 2 against the Rams. But, yeah. Another key point, running back Alvin Kamara went off against the Dallas Cowboys, having 115 rushing yards, 65 receiving yards, 4 touchdowns, and a 44-19 win against the Cowboys. Now I picked the Cowboys to win that game. I thought it would be a close one, but I was shocked this whole game. Alvin Kamara went off. He balled out. Derek Carr, shout out to him, he balled out. Wide receiver Rashid Shaheed, he balled out. This whole Saints defense played good. Now, the defense is good regardless, but this Saints team is the real deal. And I'm going to get into my predictions when they play the Eagles, but they're the real deal. But Alvin Kamara had an amazing game. And also, back to the Cardinals, Kyler Murray, he had a great game. Going 17-21, 325 yards, 3 touchdown passes against the Rams. He looks very, very good. At the year and a half off of that ACL injury, he looked good against the Rams. And lastly, this is one of my favorite takeaways from last week. The Chargers running back J.K. Dobbins currently leads the league in rushing with 266 rushing yards in his first 2 games as a Charger. I'm excited. I know against the Panthers last week, but my Chargers are running the football. I think this is the best we have run the football since we had LaDainian Tomlinson. I'm so excited. He looked phenomenal. But now let's get into some Week 3 games for this week. Now, as you're watching this, I'm doing this episode Thursday, so Thursday night game is going on. But I picked the Jets over the Patriots in this game. I do expect the Patriots to compete. The defense is better than I thought. Gerard Mayo is a very good coach. I think is a decent coach. But I expect the Jets to win this game, probably at least in a close one, because I don't know how I think Aaron Rodgers and that Jets offense is going to slowly come together. But being this is a rivalry game, I think it's going to be close, but I'm going Jets over the Patriots in this game. Next up, going to the Sunday, and that's a Thursday night game. So by the time you see this episode, it'll be the next day, but I'm going Jets either way. Now let's get into a Sunday game. My Chargers 2-0 taking on the Steelers 2-0. This will be a 1 o'clock game Sunday. I'm going my Chargers, but I'm not that confident because this is Steelers. Mike Tomlin, very elite coach. That Pittsburgh defense, T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward, Mika Fitzpatrick, Joey Porter Jr. They have a very elite defense. Now, Justin Fields has been looking pretty decent. He hasn't turned the ball over. He looked good week 1 against Atlanta. He looked good last week against Denver. Now, he ain't playing elite, but he's playing good. I expect this to be a low-scoring game because my Chargers defense has looked good. Joey Bosa has looked good. Khalil Mack, Asante Samuel Jr. We've been running the football with J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. Justin Herbert has been looking pretty good. The offensive line with Rashawn Slater, our first-round pick, Joe Alt this year, both have the highest. Joe Alt has the highest grade of any offensive lineman right now, and Rashawn Slater is number 2. But you're going,